All right, guys, we're going to go over the parts of a broadcast news story that we learned last week because you're going to work on a broadcast news story this week. So we went over the parts, and they are all news stories have sound bites, which is the information you get from an interviewee, and B-roll, which is background footage. And then a lot of them we see have a reporter. Sound bites is the information said by the interviewee that we get from an interview. It does not include the question, and usually we get this from asking open-ended questions. These usually last about 9 to 12 seconds. B-roll is background footage. Broadcast stories follow say it, prove it. Whatever someone says, we see. Usually we shoot this as action, reaction, wide, medium, tight. And wide, medium, tight is sequences, and we like lots of sequences. Let's look at an example from SVTV this school year.
Recently, a senior seminar went to Harvesters Food Bank to volunteer their time for Senior Service Day.
So my seminar went down to Harvesters, which is a food security organization. So we went down, and the first thing we did was we cut bags, which they use for packing fruit. And I can't remember how many we cut and tied, but it was a lot. And then the second job that we did was we worked a line to pack food bags.
Basically what we're doing here is cutting bags, and then we're going to help put food into little book bags for children who don't have a lot of food when they go home.
Both students and Mr. Dingus believes that this service day is beneficial to them.
I think this is important for us to learn that there are others less fortunate than us, and to help out the community in ways that we normally wouldn't outside of service day.
I think there's hopefully a sense of gratification that they did something good for the community and made a tangible difference. I also think that it really just builds community with our seminar too. We've been together for 3 years, and everybody knows each other pretty well, and it was just nice to be able to do something together that senior year and have that experience that just, I think, brings our seminar closer together too.
In the end, Mr. Dingus would like to continue this Senior Service Day for years to come.
So in the story we have the primary interviews with Killian Cox and Isabel Grimes, which are students that actively participated. And then we have the secondary interview with Mr. Dingus, who is the seminar teacher who went with them to the service day. So sound bites are the information that's said by the interviewee, and notice that we didn't hear the question, and these were pretty quick. The second part of a news story is B-roll, which is background footage, and we follow say it, prove it. When Mr. Dingus talks about them cutting bags and packing bags, we see it.
The thing we did was we cut bags, which they use for packing fruit, and I can't remember how many we cut and tied, but it was a lot. And then the second job that we did was we worked a line to pack.
The other thing we want is sequences, which are shots of wide, medium, and tight put together that show the action of what went on. There was a sequence of Conlon Drews packing bags.
A tangible difference. I also think that it really...
The final part that a lot of news stories has is a reporter that either does stand-up or voiceover. In this story, we hear from the reporter, Aaron Miguel, multiple times in the story to help tell what happened. Here's a couple of examples.
Recently, a senior seminar went to Harvesters Food Bank to volunteer their time for Senior Service Day. Both students and Mr. Dingus believes that this service day is beneficial to them. In the end, Mr. Dingus would like to continue this Senior Service Day for years to come.
So the parts of a news story are sound bites, which is the information you get from an interview, and B-roll, which is background footage, and then finally you usually hear from a reporter who works as a narrator. If a story has a reporter, it's called a news story. If a story doesn't have a reporter, then it's called a natural sound story. And that is a recap of broadcast news stories.